Aero-News Network's coverage of the 69th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Dallas, Texas, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
Extraordinary career working with extraordinary people.
My hip fuel gauge is really being weird.
It's acting up again. We've got plenty of fuel, but those gauges really are not all that accurate.
When speed and precision matter, the M100L FGTTA multi-wire delivers. This fully automatic air-cooled wire marking system can laser mark up to 16 different wires or cables on demand with zero waste wire, making it ideal for high-mix production. A UV solid-state laser with high-speed scanning produces sharp, permanent markings, while user-friendly software supports any TrueType font, graphics, logos, and barcodes. The system provides a powerful turnkey solution for modern wire marking.
It's time to upgrade your power plant to the first FAA-certified clean sheet engine design in over 60 years. Delta Hawk's jet fuel-powered liquid-cooled turbocharged engine produces turbine performance at 40% better fuel efficiency of typical reciprocating engines, while also achieving exceptional reliability and significant reduction in cost of ownership. Reserve your engine package today at deltahawk.com.
The future of USB charging power has arrived. Introducing new, ultra-fast charging TA360 USB chargers. Unlock the power of USB Power Delivery (PD) technology. Max power. Multiple configurations. In-seat cabin, cockpit, and galley USB power, and a direct upgrade for all TrueBlue Power USB chargers, compatible with any USB electronic device. Easy to install, backed by the best. TrueBlue Power, the USB experts.
Backed by over 30 years of Aero-News reporting, PropWash is the daily email newsletter that delivers top aviation headlines to your inbox. Expert reporting, clean facts, and real insight. Start your day with aviation news you can trust. Subscribe to PropWash today at aero-news.net.
Alrighty, folks, welcome to the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show, live from Dallas, Texas. Texas, folks. It's at the Hilton Anatole, and to make a long story short, it's been a great year so far. This is our 18th rendition of our live streaming and web streaming exercises with AEA. Yesterday we did the NPIs. I think there were 23 entrants in the new product introduction series. Stirring speech and intro with Mike Gullion. Yay, Mikey! Hey, guy. And just a really endearing amount of technology, camaraderie, and an industry that knows it's important but doesn't act that way. Just really good folks doing their best to move aviation forward, one electron at a time, or whatever it takes. We are tremendously fortunate to be leading today in our first of the 2 days of live streaming that we do live from the convention floor. Paul Martin, CEO of Nighthawk Flight Systems. At Oshkosh this year, we went into a press conference, started listening. Whoa, that makes sense. Whoa, that makes a lot more sense. Displays look gorgeous. Imagery is coming from where? It was exciting stuff. And it was time for a paradigm shift in flat panel displays and the way cockpits were interacting with reality. and it looks like Nighthawk pretty much thought the same way. Paul, welcome to Aero-News, and welcome to the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show.
Thank you very much, Jim. I'm happy to be here.
Tell me what brought on the generation of your system and Nighthawk flight systems in particular.
Well, as you may know, we had a predecessor company that was struggling financially, but had some wonderful technology, and that was Sandell Avionics Corporation. And in March of 2022,
built some beautiful stuff.
Oh, they do, and all of those Sandell instruments are still in production today. Mm-hmm. So all of the 3 and 4 inch primary flight displays are available today.
Well, your terrain work in the helo area was highly laudable.
TAWS and HeliTAWS, and of course we and Honeywell are the only ones that can do source code on TAWS and HeliTAWS, and we do make a beautiful, particularly HeliTAWS display, I think. But in March of 2022, we formed Nighthawk Flight Systems Corporation to manage essentially the foreclosed assets of Sandell, and that brought us a wonderful base set of technology that we really wanted to bring to the market, but we wanted to bring it to the market in a manner that I think if we had any one driving force, it was I wanted a cockpit that everybody could tailor to their own needs. They could buy what they want, not buy what they want. They can mix it, match it, and if their investment, they make an investment.
Is this the Burger King approach, I take it?
Burger
Have
King.
it your way.
Taco Bell. Yeah.
Okay.
Have it
your
your
preferences.
Way. Or Nike, just do it.
Yeah.
So we set this display up with its subset of avionics as a building block, the first block of which you see at the show here today, we had at Oshkosh. We're in our final throes of certification for Class 1 and 2. It is an 11.6 inch viewable area attached to a what we call a nest, which has all of the appropriate avionics. So the avionics that go into the system are individual LRUs, so you can think of our system as a group of federated avionics that become integrated on install. Because you put the avionics in the nest, and then we connect them with what we call a blade link. And that's our database. So instead of plugging it into a data plane, we do that on the front. We bring all the information together, and that nest can be located anywhere within 25 feet of the display.
Okay.
The only thing that you have on installation on the display is it can be just simply mounted on the front of a panel, or you cut the hole and you have 3/10 of an inch of glass. So it's all edge-to-edge glass, touch face control, also tactile controls. We do all of the features and functions that you would expect from a high-end display. So we'll include charts and maps and full capability. And then you mentioned our synthetic vision is really unique. So we create a digital twin of the entire Earth. It's not really Google Earth, but it looks like you're flying Google Earth. It is our own creation. We started out by developing the twin, and we felt that for situation awareness, pilots, particularly pilots that aren't really dedicated IFR pilots that find themselves in bad conditions and instrument conditions, this view we give them of the situation they're in, and particularly downstream when we're in helicopters at 500 feet, operating in and out of scuzzy clouds or fog, we give a perfect display of the situation you're in, the ground below you, all of the traffic, all of the information, all of the obstacles, all the wires, everything that can get in your way. So we built this digital twin that is in every instrument we deliver. There's no internet coverage. You just build it into the instrument. All the information's available to you, and we think it's all very affordable. Affordability and flexibility has been important. We want to be able to offer a cockpit that a pilot can come in, and if he's happy, let's say he's got a really good, two good GPS navigators. We're cool. We'll integrate with them, present all of their information on our displays.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. And I just don't want to force anything down anybody's throat. If they're good, happy with their radios, cool. Now we will be introducing improvements about every month as we continue now. So we expect our first deliveries to be in June, and then in July we'll be offering a 7-inch companion display. And In September, we're offering an integrated, fully certified GPS navigator
Okay.
with FMS. At that time, we'll integrate third-party nav and comm. By the end of the year, we'll have fully integrated nav and comm. So you'll see a fully integrated display, but it's in essence fully federated instruments integrated upon installation. So you're looking at a fully integrated cockpit. And we hope to do that certified for all Part 23 and all Part 27 aircraft, all TSO'd equipment by this time next year.
Well, you don't have much to do you?
Right. We're staying busy.
Yeah. Not sleeping much, are we?
We've generated a lot of interest. We a lot of things we didn't expect. We basically wanted to provide. We're pretty agnostic on the display. We built the system such that, you know, when I'm home and I plug in a Blu-ray, I can put it on a 40-inch or an 80-inch, right? So we want the same thing. So we want the base avionics to support any manner of displays that the customers ultimately need, up to and including the Sciotech 88 by 20-inch display.
Okay.
So that's 3 panels side by side. We're good with that. We'll integrate with that in time. Not on day one.
Yeah.
We're getting close to day one now. Relative to certification activities, I think the whole world was thrown into a bit of a loop in the fourth quarter of 2025. But right now, I think we're really in a good relationship with the FAA. They've made a lot of input to us. We've incorporated that input. I really believe that everything that they've had us modify and change and made us better. So the display today is better than it's ever been. It's been looked at by lots of people, FAA, and I think we're on a pretty clear path to certification now.
Well, obviously being on the floor of the AEA convention with all these shops out here, what can you tell us about the installation chores on an average system at this point?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We're all salivating out there going,
well, we've had a lot of
business.
Individual dealers come up to us and talk to us just at the show this morning, and we welcome them. The actual installation of the system should be very easy. Because we built the nest to be separate from the display, connected by single cables. So the nest provides the display with power, two-way communication, all the information the displays need. So you can put the nest anywhere in the airplane you want, up to 25 feet away. Then you can put it forward to the forward bulkhead in our own, we have a Cessna 340 we fly as our company airplane. So flexibility of installation. And we wanted, because of our blade link system that everybody communicates, when we install individual functions, they're instantly connected. So you're eliminating about 50 connections between functions. So we're eliminating a lot of weight and a lot of wires on the ease of installation. So it's very easy to install. We're going to start sessions with our dealers as we approach certification. So before the end of April, I want to get with all of our dealers, and we will start a process of going through our product, our installation guide, probably several hours of information on what the techs will need to know to do it. And then we'll follow that up with questions and answers and get that out to all of our dealers. And what we would like to do with the folks that really want to install the system is pair them with a good, highly qualified dealer.
Yeah.
And then the three of us just work together to make sure that the customer gets what he wants. The dealer installs it, knowledgeably and professionally. On the first installs, we'll have continuous communication with the dealers and the customers to make sure everything goes well.
Picking the shops there is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, and we currently have a little under 100 very dedicated dealers to the Guardian system. We have quite a few more that are working our legacy products that are in development, in production today, all the way through Part 25, 29. So the new dealers are growing with us. We have a lot of interest worldwide. We have interest from some OEMs. So we have a lot of work to do.
Well, you've accomplished a lot since taking over the remaining assets. There was a lot of data there, but the mechanical aspect of this, the actual physical plant, if you will, has to have been an engineering nightmare, considering the fact that what you were trying to do was compete with what everybody was doing, but not do what everybody else was doing anyway, because one, it was being done before, and two, it's getting the standard architecture right now is getting kind of old. So how do you improve on that beyond the blade architecture?
Well, the CPUs that we have today are probably the best you can buy in the world today at its class. And also our memory, as you can imagine, is pretty awesome. So I'd say that our mission computer is probably the best state of the art that the art can get today. But by virtue of the architecture of the system being individual functions as opposed to all blended in a single box, that preserves the capability that if you make an investment in Nighthawk today, let's say, I call it the $350 hamburger. We've all had our airplanes that go somewhere to get a hamburger and come home because we love flying.
You're getting cheaper hamburgers than I've been getting lately, but go ahead.
Well, counting flight time.
Yeah.
So that's a particular need in a cockpit that can be fulfilled, but let's say that pilot now wants to use his airplane in business, and he wants absolutely assured arrivals. He needs much better IFR capability, more screens. He doesn't have to throw a thing away. Not a penny of investment is wasted. By keeping the architecture and the avionics remote from the displays, he can go to a full glass cockpit and keep all of his investment intact, add to it if he wants. If he has radios he's happy with, fine, keep them, and we'll integrate with them. But if he wants to replace those with software-controlled radios and put it all into the automated system, we can do that too. So the system is able to grow as the pilot's needs grow without wasting any initial investment in a system that you have to throw away when you put the new one in. So that's been important to us, and we've tried to protect that all along. And the other thing we want to do is we want to be a part of the entire community. So we want everybody who makes all of these great components, autopilots and electronic instruments. We're going to be putting our EI system in here in our airplane soon, and then we'll certify for engine displays. But everybody can play in that, and I want everybody to play in that. I don't want to go take on a job that we have people that are very, very good at providing a very affordable product and exactly what the customer needs. I don't want to go compete with that person. I want to embrace that person.
There's something comforting in being able to do this one piece at a time.
Right.
Especially when you got certain things that work and certain things that don't. So go in, change what you need to, and work your way up from there, especially as you develop a relationship with the company and confidence in the equipment.
Yeah.
I assume that you're looking at all aspects of the cockpit at some point. You
in one way or the other,
engine
absolutely.
Gauges, autopilots, things of that nature.
And we are bidding on contracts now that require full cockpit integration.
Okay.
We hope to integrate. IA just purchased the Genesis 3100. We'll integrate with that on all of the S-Techs, the C600. We'll integrate with all of those systems. But in terms of all of the remainder of the aircraft componentry, we'll either provide that by this time next year. We'll provide individual navigation, or we'll have third-party partners that will provide. So if they're software-controlled radios, we don't have to make them. We can remotely locate them, and we'll control them with our cockpit system. So we're ultimately going to integrate, think in terms of all glass. And that's what I hope to have at Oshkosh this year. Our Cessna 340 with 2 12s, 2 7s, and 2 mid-continents, and that'll be it.
That sounds pretty.
We'll take you for a flight.
I'm ready. Pull it up the back door. We're out of here. How do you think you're going to do in regards to price competition with the various alternates out there?
Yeah, we're, in our goal right now. So the base system, the 12-inch display with the base system I've described, the mission computer, our smart I/O to integrate with all of the onboard air systems you have today, and ADAHRS, is just under $35,000. And if you add a second display, like a 7-inch, it's $39,900 at list price.
Okay.
So we're not in competition with the lowest end of the market. Those guys make great products, and they serve a great purpose at their market niche. We're going to ultimately be much higher end capability. We think we will ultimately compete very, very favorably on price, but also on weight. We are generally about half the weight of any comparable system. So our components, I have a 20-watt radio, for example. We're not ready to market it, but it weighs 9 ounces.
Okay.
And it's 20 watts. And so today's systems at 10 watts are very nice systems. We'll integrate them early on, and then we'll bring our 20 watt on as the market needs it. So I think at the end we'll be a higher end display system, competing with higher end, and ultimately we're going into Part 25. I think that there's a lot of aging executive jets out there that are really crying for some serious help, and we want to enter that market about a year from now. So those are high-end guys. They need good stuff, good capability. So the system you see at our booth today will simply grow to that system. It won't change to that system. It's going to grow to that. So you can have 3 large displays. You can have 2 12s, 2 7s, whatever the cockpit wants. We'll have the tactile controls will be in the pedestal as opposed to underneath the display. So you'll just have all glass display and tactile wherever you want it on the cockpit. It'll be separated from the display. So the guys are doing good things. I got a great team working them. We're growing pretty rapidly. We have had to grow it since we formed in 2022. I think we have a ways to, we have to earn everybody's trust. So the only way to do that is to deliver on time and quality product, and do what we say we will do.
That's all it takes.
And that's what I want to do. I don't want to overpromise, so I can't name the certification date, but I can say we're really close.
Well, outstanding, and I look forward to working with you in the future, and especially flying the system. What I've seen so far in their mock-ups and displays has been pretty exciting. And for somebody who just loves the latest in technology, especially when it's working, it's a good thing to see the industry take a step up. Paul, I thank you so much for your time. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
And I am holding you to flying with you in the not-too-distant future. And that sitting down with a couple of beers and telling lies again, that just, we've been in some interesting areas.
You're wearing my boy there, the skunk, so I'm very proud of my Skunk Works time.
Proud to have it.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, folks, we're going to take a quick break here. We've got, oh my goodness, it's Gary Reeves on deck from pilotsafety.org. We've got a couple of crash commercial messages and a few other things to do in the meantime. But we will be right back from the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show live from the Hilton Anatole in Dallas, Texas. In just a few moments, we will be right back. And we are back. Didn't learn anything from before? You got to come right on back, huh? Okay, 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show live from the Hilton Anatole in Dallas, Texas. Just off of 35 East, I guess. Yeah. We've really just enjoyed this particular edition. This is our 18th time as AEA's media partner doing live streaming for yesterday's NPIs and opening speeches and getting everybody up to speed on what's happening in the world of avionics. And we're pleased to continue an outstanding slate of guests this afternoon with Gary Reeves, Mr. Pink from pilotsafety.org. And what you been up to lately, Guy? You just, just
Well, I
sit
really
back,
only
doing
come to
nothing?
conventions and wait and see if you'll give me an interview. I just kind of follow you around the country.
So many have tried. It's good to see you, Guy.
Thanks for
So
having
tell
me
me
back.
what's happening, man.
Well, for the people who don't know GPS Guy in the Pink Shirt, I train pilots and very large fleets how to work the autopilot's GPS and advanced avionics systems. So the NTSB...
He uses a whip and a gun, by
Yes.
the way. Yes.
No, I use a pointer. Don't push that button, push this button. So the NTSB did a really interesting study. They took older cockpit aircraft, airplanes and helicopters with just the plastic gauges, and they compared them against technically advanced aircraft, autopilot display, and GPS. The older airplanes have a higher accident rate. The technically advanced aircraft have a double fatality. They have fewer accidents, but they are twice as likely to kill the pilots and the passengers than old steam gauge.
That doesn't sound impressive.
Well, pick a company like Garmin. They have the most amazing tools on the planet. There's Avidyne, there's Collins, there's Astronautics. There's all these avionics companies that give you amazing capabilities, but there's no standard for required training. So in the fleets, I'm starting to do a lot of fleets. We started with Air Methods, one of the biggest air ambulance companies. I've trained the Coast Guard, Houston PD. I'm going back for the third time this year. What they've realized is there's mandatory safety management systems coming in, and they are supposed to track pilot errors. So the pilots are supposed to report when they make a mistake working in autopilot, or when they make a mistake using a GPS, or if they make a mistake not reacting to a traffic alert. They don't know they're making mistakes. How can you track it? So unless there's a formal training program, which is what I do, there's no way to prevent these fatalities, because really good pilots have been taught by really good pilots who are still just self-taught. And they can be a great pilot, but if they don't know it's a mistake, there's no way to fix it.
Okay.
So I still sell a lot of training videos on everything Garmin and Avidyne. I still do private individual 3 days, but the fleet training just fascinates me. It really does.
Well, it's also a great way to see a cumulative effect fairly quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to be pretty rewarding.
Well, Temsco Helicopters, one of the largest tour operators, certainly the biggest in Alaska, they hired me to come in and train all their check airmen and instructors. I developed a customized training video for them so that all new hire pilots have to watch it before they come to training. They're saving $3,000 per person for new hires. Because if they know how to work the avionics before they get in the aircraft, think how much easier it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I can make you and I have been friends for a long time. I really just want to stop.
You'll admit that out loud?
Yes.
That puts a target on your back.
Yeah, you and me both. But the only thing I've ever cared about is giving pilots better technology to prevent accidents. Without the training, Garmin can put the best thing on the planet in a plane. Collins Proline can put the best thing in a plane. Avidyne can put the best thing in a plane. But when pilots are only self-taught, they don't even know what they're missing. So, as you said, doing the fleet training, I can see a bigger impact quicker. And that just gives me my passion.
Plus you have a community to work off of, and when there's an interchange among pilots with similar mission requirements,
right.
the amount of feedback you're going to get is going to be extraordinary.
Right. And, I absolutely work with 40-hour private pilots, but the fleets You may have a 2,000 hour pilot and a 20,000 hour pilot in the same room, but the missions for each fleet are so varying that I really get to customize it just for them.
Okay.
I really get to create a program that this will make your operation. And I enjoy that because it's different. Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds busy.
It really is.
My goodness. How did this evolve?
Well, I do 2 to 3 classes a day at AirVenture and Sun and Fun.
Yeah.
And a lieutenant commander from the Coast Guard saw me speak on a Garmin or a 4-flight class. And he said, well, can you help us? Can you come train 250 of our helicopter instructors all in one day how to use the new Collins CAS system? And if you don't know what the Collins CAS system is, it's called the Common Architecture. They go into a Collins Honeywell warehouse, they pick all the different components you want, they put it in the military panel, and they say it will all work together because it does. And then they go, well, can we have a training manual? Well, we've never put this combination in an aircraft before. Do you do training? No. And
but
he
it
said,
just so happens.
Well, and he said, well, can you train Collins? After 25 years, I know how autopilots work and interface with the different systems, so it's very easy for me to make it all work. Yeah. Even though, obviously, 90% of my life is teaching Garmin and Avidyne and S-Tech, Genesis, Moog, and the bigger names. But yeah, I was a computer geek who loved flying.
It's a good combo.
It actually worked out as it
Outstanding.
works.
Well, I'm glad it has. I've been watching what you've been doing over the years, and I've also been watching the evolution of what you've been tackling. And the industry needs a lot more of it, because part of the problem is we're shoving people into airplanes that have far more capability than the pilots can acknowledge or digest with inadequate training. And sitting down with a book is not the answer. Sitting down with a video is not the answer. It is a combination of that and tutelage and everything else to get to not just a point of comfort, but a point where you understand the systemology, the methodology, to be able to get from point A to point B without scaring yourself.
So, and what you said is the absolute best way to start. Watching a YouTube video.
Yep.
Most major GPS brands have an iPad simulator. It's a great way to start. But the FAA and the NTSB in this report said that generalized self-teaching is not enough.
No.
Because you have to understand in detail the limitations of each system and then how they interact with every other system. It's not that GPS is more complex than the old VOR system. It is. But you have 5 complex systems now interacting with each other. And that's just not something you can cover in a factory training or even the best training providers in the world, Flight Safety SimCom. They teach aircraft systems. They can't spend 40 hours with your avionics interacting with other avionics when it's not their job. So.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Kind of is yours, though.
Yes. And
there
I
you
love
go.
it. The only problem is a lot of great pilots don't know they need training because they've never been told.
Well,
we've always been a self-taught
We've celebrated the kick the tires and light the fires mentality since day one. I don't understand it. I don't accept it. I don't like it. And I've gone to way too many, services for those with that kind of attitude. Or for that matter, walked into scenarios where I fly along with somebody and in their aircraft and realize they don't have a clue about how half that stuff works. And it gets just phenomenally dangerous, as well as, frankly, just a little scary for everybody involved.
Well, see, it can be, but you have the experience to see the gap. So the technology, if you put in a brand new GTNXI, G500, GFC autopilot, the technology is so good that if something goes wrong and you have some experience and you have time to figure it out, you can almost always get the workaround done.
Okay.
It's when you don't have time that things, the technology is so helpful that a lot of go practice on it. It works if things are good. Mm-hmm. But as you've noticed, when things go bad and they don't have that knowledge. But you're right. Pilots have always been go practice solo, go practice landings.
Yeah.
It's very much an alpha personality, go play with it.
Yeah.
And that's worked, but now there's some gaps.
Well, this day and age, it can't work. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
You said you're doing some DOJ work?
Yeah, so I was so excited. The Department of Justice hired me as an expert witness in a mid-air collision case.
Ouch.
Specifically for my avionics expertise. So I can't go into a lot of details because it's still an active case.
Okay.
But essentially, there was a mid-air collision where one pilot, or two pilots flying a high-performance aircraft, had an amazing array of avionics. And the lawsuit says they hit another airplane because the air traffic controller never told them the airplane was there.
Okay.
Well, they had some amazing avionics by several brands. Garmin's in there, Avidyne's in there. They had a bunch of great avionics. There's even a Shaden 3500. And all of these things had traffic alerts. They even at one point had an audible alert.
Kind of an attractive nuisance.
But they brought me in and said, well, Gary, is it really air traffic control's fault? And I'm like, no. There was all kinds of information that for some reason, this very experienced pilot didn't use on that time. And I don't know why. He's a very experienced pilot. But it's kind of interesting being the expert witness type. A lot of research.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd like it, but I really do. I love it quite a bit.
Interesting. For folks that are out there listening to some of this and kind of going, well, this kind of sounds like me a little bit, how can they reach out to you? How can they get the kind of information, training, and completion to proper standards that they need to survive this business?
Well, it's always just easiest to go to my website, pilotsafety.org. I mean, if you Google Gary GPS guy in the pink shirt, I'm not hard to find. But pilotsafety.org has free getting started videos on a lot of Garmin and Avidyne and Genesis products that they can start for free before they even get the new avionics. There's my rotorcraft training, my fleet training, everything's on that site. And they can always just contact me through the site too. Or they can find you because I'm usually right behind you at a convention.
Well, we'll see you at Sun and Fun.
Absolutely.
See you at Oshkosh.
Of course.
Of course, AEA each year.
Always.
And we'd like to invite you out to the Affordable Flying Expo in November. We had our first one this year.
I heard about that.
And first one went fairly well. We sold 8 airplanes on the ground, so yay for that. We got a lot to learn about running events after criticizing everybody else's events for decades.
Easy when you're
I got
on the
a
other
couple of
side.
hundred mea culpas to send out to people. But we had Sun and Fun backing us up with their expertise and tutelage, and they were wonderful. And we're excited about it because the entry level is critical to the rest of this industry, especially trying to make aviation affordable again. That and a couple other things we'll be talking about in a conversation I want to have with you a little bit later on. We're working in this area pretty aggressively. But for the work that you do as a CFI, IIMEI, HI, HII, GI, and all that crap, when I see people tackling subjects, especially niches that are so underserved, one, I feel a little jealous, and two, I'm just really glad to see it happen. So good on you, Guy.
Thanks. And I just got to share with you how valuable your convention coverage is. I'm always short on sleep. I really wanted to see the new product intros and the keynote speaker, Mike.
Oh, Mikey.
Couldn't get out of bed, but from my hotel room in this hotel, I'm watching the whole thing live on my iPad because of you. And I would have missed, and I think a lot of pilots
it's available
would have
in
missed
archive
so
right now.
much.
Yeah.
So many pilots can't be here. Without you, I would have missed a lot, and I appreciate it.
Well, it's a great team. They always make sure it's done right, and we're pleased to have you as one of our guests, and see you at the same time next year in Savannah.
You bet.
Thank you much.
Tim.
All righty, folks, time for a short commercial break. Fill you in on a couple of really cool things. We have got a really interesting lineup from here. Mid-Continent's on deck. Van and Todd Winter will be here in a moment, followed by the Dynon Trig folks, Brad Thorough, Andy Davis, SICE, President Scott's on his way. That's going to be fun. Air Avionics, Mike Adamson, the AEA boss, will be joining us a little bit later on, and Skywire Studio to finish out the day. There's a lot on the lineup. We've got a heck of a slate here. So live from the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show, this is the Aero-News Network. We will be back in just a few minutes. Stay where you are.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the 69th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Dallas, Texas, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
In aviation, knowing your fuel matters. SAIS designs and manufactures advanced fuel quantity sensors using patented magnetoresistive technology. The result is precise, reliable fuel level data that integrates seamlessly with modern avionics. Trusted by aircraft manufacturers, installers, and pilots around the world, SAIS fuel quantity sensors bring a new level of accuracy and confidence to the cockpit. SAIS, accuracy before empty.
The Inkjet M100J is a high-speed, fully automatic, computer-controlled wire and cable marking system. It's the first system in the industry that integrates an inline plasma pre-treatment system that enhances the quality and durability of the mark. With instant inline curing, the M100J delivers clean, durable surface prints at speeds of up to 300 feet per minute without damaging the insulation. Mil-spec compliant and Boeing certified, it's a powerful solution for reliable, high-performance inkjet wire marking.
The legendary BD4C program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged four-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more detail.
Direct Fly USA proudly introduces the new Alto NG, a single-engine, two-seat light sport aircraft for the North American market. This simple, all-metal aircraft design provides low maintenance cost, easy, comfortable access, and responsive flight controls. Equipped with a Rotax 912 engine and a ballistic parachute, the Alto NG is reliable and safe. Learn more about the Alto NG at directflyusa.com.
Flying is my entire life. It's all that I've ever known. I've relied on Hartzell propellers since about 1995. Hartzell means much more than a propeller. It's a relationship. When you hear the phrase built on honor, they care about us as pilots, they care about our community, and they care about the product they build. It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
And we are back at the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show, live from the Hilton Anatole in Dallas, Texas, just down the road, 35 East. Take a turn onto Wycliffe and boom, you're there. This has been a fun show. We've always enjoyed AEA. This is our 18th time doing the live streaming exercise, which basically means we haven't learned a damn thing in almost two decades. But the convention right now, the energy, everything is positive, it's dynamic, and the best part is ultimately we're watching the industry continue to evolve, and in some fascinating ways. We're pleased to have the winter duo, shall we say, from Midcon and True Blue Power. And the joke that we were talking about just before we went on air is, you know, ask these guys what's new and then stand back for a few days. In this particular case, we don't have quite that long, but tell you what, what's new at True Blue Power?
We do try and always have something new. We've
always got the guy with the hook at the end, right mark.
Yeah, I can be brief, but you know we're always innovating.
No,
we're always well. Okay, I could go long, I could go short, whatever you prefer. Just give me the hand signals. You know, yeah, always trying to innovate, always trying to come up with some new things. Things that we announced at this show, a couple new True Blue products. So right, blue, that kind of makes sense. TC800 is our new converter series. So my favorite thing about this, and we kind of highlighted it in the MPI video, is even though this looks like one unit, it's part of a series. So it's a modular unit. So you can see the really cool.
Is there about 4 variations?
Four variations. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yep. You're right on the money.
I study up.
Hey, that's good. That's great. What you could do the presentation too, probably.
Oh, no, you don't want that. You really don't want that.
Well, I was just about to call these shark fins, so you know I don't think that's a technical term. But yeah, we got the really cool fins on the product. You can add 2 different modules. So when the product's by itself, it's an 800 watt converter, outputs 800 watts. You can add this fan on the front. When he's by himself, he doesn't need a fan for cooling and for power output. When you add a fan on the front, and by you, I mean us, you order it that way, don't do it in the field, that bumps up the power to 1200 watts. So fantastic innovation there to add that extra cooling, configure the unit for 1200 watts. And then this box on the bottom is what we're calling a hold-up module. So what that does, when this is powering in-flight entertainment or USB port or any other 28 volt systems, avionics, whatever, this hold-up module for up to 300 milliseconds can keep the power running. So there's no power dropout. So, you know, if somebody was flipping on an engine in an aircraft, a business jet or a commercial aircraft, and you see, you know, the TV screen pops off or the lights flicker or whatnot, this hold-up module is designed to take that out of the equation. So that can sometimes help if a full system has to reset, even if it loses power for that little amount of time. So really cool what they did with this unit. You know, we were looking for kind of a Goldilocks converter, right? We've got some big ones, we've got some small ones. This guy falls kind of right in the middle, but then we added those extra features, those modular designs to the unit as well. So that's the TC800 series. This unit is a nickel metal hydride emergency power pack. So this is a replacement for the 7450 emergency batteries that we've gotten feedback from customers that they were looking for an alternative. So we designed this one, and hot off the press, breaking the story to you, we just found out this morning that our STC was approved for Phenom 300s. So this is the Phenom 300 backup battery. Yep, we're ready to go, ready to take orders and install those today. So STC approved for the Phenom 300. These aren't
pull
on
the
on the
Phenoms
100.
up to the back of the building here and just start.
We'll put them in.
There you go.
You know what? That's a great segue, Jim, because they're that easy to install. You got a nice little thumb screw here where you can take the top off. You can swap the battery pack out. Same connectors that are in the aircraft currently. So really cool unit. Phenom 300s is done. Praetor 500, 600 coming soon.
Okay.
And that's kind of the
active airplanes. That's a good market.
Early rundown. Yep.
They're flying the bloody blue blazes out of them, so to speak.
Yep.
It's good. You know, we like to listen to our customers.
Yeah.
And hear about things they want, things they need. So, interestingly enough, playing off of that, one of the key design features of this is when you don't have the fan, it's totally quiet. A lot of people complain about other older products because they're noisy or they start to squeal. Even if you have the fan is designed to be super quiet, and it's mounted where it's not going to be sucking up the dust and the cat hair, etc. So it really is an answer to a lot of people's needs. Cabin installations where they want something improved and better than what they've had before, which of course, same thing here too, replacing obsolete battery technology that's expensive to maintain with something that's much more reliable, less cost for maintenance checks and replacements. And after all, it is emergency lighting, right? So when you want it, you really want it to work right. And True Blue has set a great standard with emergency packs, as you know, going back over 20 years, and that's just with the lithium. Can you believe it's been 20?
I remember.
Yeah.
I still remember the classroom and Lithium 101 with you guys way back when.
Yeah, we did something similar the other day. Brett Williams did a great job. So we've put a lot into that. So we've even though we do have the singular units and we keep bringing more and more utility to the industry, basically when we're talking about True Blue Power now, we're basically saying, you know what, we probably have the battery that you need regardless of the type of aircraft, helicopter, airship, VTOL, drone, etc. We probably have something already in existence, certified off the shelf, and likewise with power conversion, we don't cover 100% of the older applications, but for all the newer applications that we're seeing, we've got the things that are going to really deliver there, and the product support's great, the weight's typically lower, the price is usually very competitive, and they're actually available. You know, that's something else we do. So we've really kind of hit our goal to be able to be that provider with that breadth, and to do it right with safe products and affordable products, things that make aviation better.
What's the future of the product lines right now? Where is your attention focused?
Well, in addition to the True Blue products, we should mention Mid-Continent continues to develop products.
Yep.
You know, our SAM, our standby indicators, attitude, altitude, airspeed continue to be very, very popular in multiple configurations. We have the nice little 2-inch units.
Goes anywhere.
They go anywhere. The visibility on them is wonderful.
Yeah.
So we continue to serve that part of the market as well, and there will be more coming. So we're going to keep you in a job. We're going to have more.
Oh, thank Lord.
Good new stuff. Isn't it great? You know, those are all in the mix. We doubled the size of our facilities, especially our engineering facilities in Wichita, Kansas.
Did you get a big office?
No, I just got a nice standard office. As long as I got my computer and I can get those emails hammered out. I think it's time to renegotiate. Go for the big office. I'm always walking around talking to people, checking in on stuff. So
well, that's how we get things done. There you go.
And we welcome visitors too. Our testing facilities and everything. No, we're not Honeywell or Collins, but we've got some pretty cool stuff going on in our engineering labs.
I don't detect the same level of arrogance, so yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah, we're continuing on that path, hyper focused on aviation, but we have extended. Our products have been so capable that we have extended. We're not only doing GA and business, we are doing a lot in the commercial market and selective with the USB power and conversion power, VIP configurations, and some of our great friends in the military, we're honored to be able to provide some of our products to the military, US and others, that are making our folks out there fly safer and helping them execute their mission.
Outstanding. How's the Flex series doing?
Flex is doing great. Yep. We have a modest backlog of programs coming that continue to come through. You know, if they can envision, I just had 20 minutes ago, had a guy come, he said, okay, we got this new program, we only need 300. I said, that's not a problem. We can do a configuration with what you need. We can put it on the gauge. The hardware and the software is already certified, so you don't have to wait for that. It's not going to take a year and a half. It's going to take like maybe 60, 90 days, and they'll have exactly what they want to work with their customers and get that technology into the cockpit.
One of the things I did want to ask you, when you came into the market with a lithium product, you're obviously battling some issues with non-affiliated products and news stories that were just obscene. This day and age, there's a lot of products out there that are claiming lithium technologies and the like. Sometimes, especially in the sport and general market, it's a little bit over the top. How do you distance yourself from the hype that's out there now that people have not only accepted what you basically created the intelligence and the recognition of the safety of lithium in the aviation industry.
Right.
And now there's a whole bunch of folks out there running around with products that I really question sometimes where it's coming from, some of the claim certifications and the like. But how do you distance yourself from that? And more important, how do you distinguish yourself?
Well, for one, we're the True Blue brand, and there's a little encroachment there, but not much. You know, we take the high road and we focus forward. We go to extremes to be sure that we have the reliability and the safety and the integrity in the product. And our customers are typically discerning, not that everybody isn't, right? Everybody can be. So we really kind of take that focus and, for some people, something else that's just barely good enough may be okay, right? We understand, your hard-earned dollars are valuable, and you may not need the ultimate best product. So there's room for everybody. We hope that other people will also have integrity, even if they follow a different pathway to a certain extent. But we really mostly focus forward, and that's why so many newer aircraft of all categories, you're going to find the True Blue Power products in there. Whether they advertise it or not, they're probably going to be in there because they provide all those value factors of lighter weight, reliability, and safety, and support, guaranteed support. So yeah, that's kind of the strategy that we take.
Trying not to sell to everybody, but only to the people that it makes sense, right? That's how the customer ends up happy, when they're like, it makes sense. The premium price for the premium product fits my mission, fits what I'm trying to accomplish. So we don't have to sell it to everybody. We want to educate everybody so they can make the best buying decision, but then let them make the decision that works for them. And luckily, we've had a lot of satisfied customers using that route.
It's been a fun evolution to watch. And going all the way back to the initial class with you guys. Where was that? Was that Palm Springs when you did that?
For the Flex?
Lithium
No,
101.
the first
101?
Lithium 101?
Well, I've slept 20 times or more since then, so I can't remember the exact date.
You're one of the biggest fans, I think. If you remember that first one, you're an OG.
It's interesting. I mean, because in the consumer world, unfortunately, in aviation, even though we're doing great, we're lagging because everybody else has already gone there, right? I mean, they're kind of like, yeah, we went there 30 years ago, right? And the technologies do continue to develop, and we keep a very close eye on that as well, too. So if we can do it even better in the future and or at lower cost, we are very focused on that as well, because we are definitely in it for the long run. So
we appreciate the integrity you brought to the process, because believe me, where we sit at Aero-News, if there is a problem with anybody, we hear about it.
Right.
We're rumor central, and you guys have done well.
Thank you.
I thank you both for your time here at the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show. You're certainly welcome back anytime.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll do this in Savannah next year.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Same dates, actually.
Georgia. 70th, right? 70th convention.
Yeah. At which point I will be 70.
And we love aviators. And we really, really love the AEA. This group, it's literally in our blood, so it's important.
Best part
to
is
us.
Savannah's our backyard. We know it well, and party town. We're having a good time.
Excellent.
Great. Looking
Good.
forward to it.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jim. Always good to see you, buddy.
Go out and build some batteries, man.
We're going to do it.
There you go.
That's what's next.
All righty. Folks, we will be back in just a few moments. We've got Dynon and Trig on deck. Another triple interview here. We're looking forward to that in just a few minutes. A lot happening there with the acquisition of Trig by Dynon and a number of other affiliated companies that have all folded in under that umbrella. So if you'll excuse us for just a moment from the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show, we are live at the Hilton Anatole, and we will be right back in just a few moments. See you in a minute. Every now and then you screw one up really good and it's a mess. Alrighty, and we are back. Okay, folks, it's, oh my goodness, we are over an hour into the programming so far, our 18th year live streaming all the excitement of AEA. This is the 69th annual AEA Convention and Trade Show live from the Hilton Anatole, Dallas, Texas. And again, we've tripled up the interview series here. We've been talking about some of the companies out there that are moving forward in a lot of interesting ways. Obviously, the combination of Dynon and Trig that was announced earlier caught a lot of people by a little bit of surprise. Although the big question overall was, are they still bringing the scotch to the displays at AEA each year?
Well, the good news is, yes, we are.
We
haven't lost touch with our roots, and we will be doing our traditional whiskey tasting here at AEA.
There you go. Folks, let's talk about the combination of Dynon and Trig. What's that bring to this market? What does it mean?
So for us, it's better ways to support our customers and our dealers. So Dynon, headquartered here in the United States, has always been very close, time zone wise, the ability to support, ship our products to our customers in the US. And Trig, headquartered in UK and Europe, likewise, in different places. So for example, our European customers for Dynon have been working through partners, but then all the way back to the factory for repair and support. So today, starting January 1st, all Dynon Group products, including the Trig product line, for the US are shipped out of the US. We handle the intercompany across the Atlantic transfer.
Okay.
And the same thing works the other way around. Over in Amersfoort, we're shipping all of the Dynon products to our European customers and airframe OEMs, of which there are quite a lot in Europe, building the light sport airplanes, and so that's working both ways around. And we've linked the support organizations as well, so that you can now contact in your own time zone or close enough some tech support. And because we're doing it behind the scenes, we can pass messages backwards and forwards, so you get much better coverage than you used to.
Oh, there you go. And of course, you know where the supply of all the good stuff is now.
Right, absolutely. Well, it's here at the show, of course.
There you go. Yeah, well, the problem is my wife makes a beeline after we finish with the broadcast here and just heads on over and okay, well, you know, we just kind of pour her back in the car later. And she has fun here. Talk about Dynon Certified. This was something everybody thought was eventually going to happen, and yet when it happened, it was one of those scenarios where it still seemed a bit of a surprise from the standpoint that we got a bunch of 600-pound gorillas in this industry. Who is going to go up against them? And certainly that was the question at hand until you started looking at the inroads you'd made in the sport community. You built gear for quite a bit of time. You'd talked to a clientele that wasn't necessarily the most sophisticated. So as a result, you had to build display and methodology that worked and defeated the idiot profile and so forth. But Dynon Certified has been an interesting development.
Sure, now 800 models on the AML-STC for the Skyview system.
It's a start.
It is certainly by the numbers one of the largest growing areas of our business. Of course, 25 years ago our heritage has really been in the experimental market, but today Certified is really what's driving that new customer base. And I think if you look at the last year, after the merger with Trig, that adds additional the sort of street cred to our certification abilities.
Well, Trig had a very good rep overseas. It was still a bit of a battle, I think, getting the recognition you needed over here, especially with, you know, brand G and brand A and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all you needed was people to go out and use the gear.
That's true. We have been pretty successful here in the United States. Even before the merger last year, around 50% of our business was here in the US. Now, to be fair, 50% of the world's light airplanes are here in the US as well, so that's not too much of a surprise. So through dealer networks, partners, and quite a lot of years of treading away through it, we did build up that quite good following. I will say, since the merger, that has got better. We have seen growth, more recognition, and I'm likely to accept that it is because now with local feet on the ground supporting the product and providing the product logistically through the dealer network, the whole thing does make it just that little bit stronger and less of a risky purchase for someone here in the US.
What's the future look like?
I think more integrations between the product lines. The one thing that we've done in the last year is made the individual trig radios work even better with the Skyview system. Of course, for years, the transponder and the comm radio behind the scenes of Skyview has always been a trig engineered and built product, and it works seamlessly with Skyview. And today, if you go see our booth, we have the TX56 Navcom, and we've done further integrations and how that works within the Skyview system to do that. We now have an engineering team that's global, Edinburgh, Scotland, and here in the US in Washington. Those teams are now working together on the next generation of products with different skill sets that are going to allow us to make products across the whole range.
I should make a shout out for the team in Fargo as well. We do have a small R&D center in Fargo, which is also working on the product line. So yeah, we actually have across different time zones and different locations quite a talented pool of engineers. And the good thing is we can now have a slightly more of a combined roadmap. We have some pretty clear visions of where we're trying to get to. And I mean, you've mentioned the obvious competitors that we're up against. So working together, we will be stronger, we will be better.
Well, you're a hungry company. That's obvious. I mean, you guys you're building and you're growing, whereas there's a tremendous amount of complacency out here. We are the 600-pound gorilla. Stand back, And I'm just kind of going, forget that. Show me your latest. Show me your greatest.
We don't underestimate them.
No, but
at the NPI session yesterday, we had two announcements, the TT23 with an integrated GPS, the new transponder, remote transponder. We had an extension of our AMLSTC and the Skyview Autopilot to earlier model Moonies.
Yay, Moonies.
We'll see more and more of those sorts of integrations and bigger things as well. You'll see software updates for Skyview coming probably at the big shows this year with some new features.
What will we see in terms of those updates? What kind of capabilities are you looking at?
So both integrations with new things with Trig, things that customers have been asking for at shows like Sun and Fun and shows like Oshkosh that we go to. We keep a prioritized list to support what customers want. And because we have such a wide base of pilots in our experimental market, those releases happen a little bit faster and then move into the certified market shortly thereafter.
Well, you can learn a lot from the experimental market. They're not necessarily the most educated, but they're certainly one of the most demanding. You can learn a lot from that.
I tell you what, when you build your own airplane,
yeah,
you learn quite a lot about flying.
And yeah, you're right. They're not shy about telling you what they want,
no.
which is great for us. I mean, that's the feedback we need.
How do you see your participation and your future in the future Mosaic class of aviation?
Well, I think that's a great question.
Yeah.
I think Mosaic is going to be revolutionary to the industry, and we've already been very strong in LSAs, and in Europe especially, there's a class of aircraft, ULM, the ultralight products. Many OEMs have products for the European market that cannot yet be exported to here. Under Mosaic they will, and I think that especially would be very interesting. It's one of the places that sees Dynon Skyview and Trig products the most today. So I think Mosaic, you'll see more and more OEMs with Dynon Group products installed in the factory. And I think second, for the kit build companies, Vans and others, the ability to not just sell those airplanes as kits. So from our base of light OEMs in Europe and experimental builders,
there are
I think
exceptional possibilities out there. Our innovation preview coming up the day before Sun and Fun this year, we are already aware of some announcements. One or two of them are really going to be groundbreakers.
Okay.
So people are thinking ahead in the industry. I'm excited about it, especially because we do the Sport Plane Resource Guide, we do a whole lot of other things that are involved with this and trying to document. But what we're really watching at is the evolution of something that finally makes sense. A way to our line when we built the Sport Plane Resource Guide was rebuild aviation one flyer at a time. Well, now we can build the whole industry en masse.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the regulatory aspect of being an avionics manufacturer in regards to what you got out of Mosaic? Because I know you're involved with F-37.
Yeah, so our team members are on the ASTM panels that are writing the rules. I'd say, as far as rulemaking goes, it's gone smoother and faster than many other efforts. So I think the whole industry really wants to see this happen to make flying better. So I think it's gone great, and the industry participation has been very high.
And the rest of the rigs are about done. We are hosting the live 4-hour session of Mosaic Day in the Paradise City area during Sun and Fun. And the first presentation out of the box is Linda Sollers for F-37, and basically everything they're submitting to the FAA the next day, which is going to be hopefully what we all get July 26th. So it's coming. It's finally supposedly all there, and most everybody except for a couple of the Hilo guys seem to be fairly happy with it.
Right, the industry, the pilots, the FAA, everyone is really putting their support behind it, and that's why this is happening.
One of the things that Trig made a reputation out of was being able to build really small gauges of necessity, especially in aircraft where space was at a real premium. Pit special. Seriously, there's just no room to do anything once you put the engine gauges in. Things of that nature, and then we got a whole new generation of really interesting aircraft coming out. I mean, look at the little Spirit SE-1.
Yep, that's cute.
Oh God, I'm in love with that thing. 69.5 flyaway. I volunteered to do some of his ferry flights for him, and I'm serious. It just looks like a gas and a half. Do you see that market continuing?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So in addition to what you might call the bigger integration stories, we still have that very almost hardcore set of customers that we've serviced over the years and will continue to service. As Brad already mentioned, we have brought out our new version of the compact remote mount transponder. Yes, it really is smaller, it really is lighter than the previous one.
Cool looking too.
So for those last
and
ounces,
you are giving out free samples, right?
Stop by the booth. We'll see what we can do for you.
I'm coming for the whiskey, man.
Yeah, of course you are. But yeah, so we're still working on that space as well. Some of the very small OEMs. I mean, often the entry-level package for size, weight, and everything is still Trig based. That's going to continue. Yeah, we have some interesting things coming along there.
Just anything you just want to tell me in private?
No.
The cameras don't see anything.
Really? No, I don't think I'll bother things.
I told Mike Schofield I was going to try to get away with that. He went, good luck.
Yeah.
So, well, gentlemen, we look forward to seeing you at Sun and Fun. We look forward to seeing you at Oshkosh. I assume there's going to be a lot of announcements at that time, especially once we get into the post-July 26th timeframe. We're going to see a lot of new airplanes in the next 6 months.
Yep.
We're excited about that.
Yeah, we're aware of that, but what's particularly exciting to me, I'll give you one tidbit, there's an engine coming. There's a hell of an engine coming that's going to fit into this market like you wouldn't believe. So that
engine support is one thing in Skyview that we've really tried to support globally. So I'm excited about that as well.
Well, one more hint. Be prepared to support diesel.
All right.
I think these guys are going to be amazing. But there's a lot more coming. The 20 some odd that are on the list so far are already just kind of blowing our minds. It's an exciting time for the industry. We're glad to have you out there. I've been watching you since day one. I've been flying a lot of your gears in various airplanes. I've been test flying, the various LSAs we've been testing and so forth. And the best part is I get in it, look at it. Yeah, that makes sense. I can, they need it proved it for me. Yay! If Campbell can operate it. So there you go.
And
Brad,
to be honest, that's always been a plan for both Trig and for Dynon. Make it pretty simple. You didn't go flying to play with a radio. You went flying to look out the window.
Idiot-proof it from Campbell.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. All righty, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Oh, my goodness, we got Scott Philibin from SEIS. Talk about technology and in intriguing areas. Scott's done work on fuel senders and engine controls that goes beyond anything I've seen anybody do, and he's still continuing, and I'm pretty excited about it. So we will be back in just a few moments. This is the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show. Say that 3 times fast, I dare you. We're at the Hilton Anatole. And I'll tell you what, our 18th year doing this stuff, and so far, we're not bored yet. Hope you aren't either. We'll see you in just a few minutes. We're back, folks. 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show, live from the Hilton Anatole in Dallas, Texas. Just around the corner from 35 East, just crank on over White Cliff, come through the back, and here we are. We've had a really great week getting here. The MPIs and opening sessions yesterday. I think we had something along the lines of almost 800 pickups from the live stream, so it wasn't a bad day at all. And we're really excited to be able to continue to bring the experience, the wealth, the talent of AEA to the rest of aviation, let you know that you guys are in pretty good shape. So, Boss Scott, Seiss, tell me what's going on, what's happening, what's the latest and greatest, because, I mean, wasn't world domination supposed to be happening last Tuesday?
Well,
or has it been put off to Wednesday?
We have added this year 2 more OEMs, and then we have 2 more or 3 more OEM manufacturers in the wing. So, yeah, world domination. It's easier now to say that the only 2 companies that we're not supporting from an OEM standpoint are Piper and Epic. And hopefully, I had a nice meeting with the woman who heads Piper Fleet Sales at the Flight School North America conference in San Diego, and hopefully I'll be able to make some impact there. We're already getting one of their largest fleets of training aircraft because they're unwilling to put up with legacy fuel senders. It kind of goes towards, you know, the message. We do have other projects in the works, whether it's angle of attack or throttles, FADEC throttles for several different applications, some of which I can't talk about.
Sure you can, but then you'd have to kill me.
We
know that drill.
There would be people dropping from the ceiling in parachutes. But I really wanted to talk about, you know, one of the awareness elements, and I don't really think I've gone into it, is discuss the evolution of trust. That, you know, we've now been in this business for 14 years, and, you know, started out with Cirrus, and if I look back on the Cirrus example, you know, all Cirrus was getting on the Garmin was really a low fuel warning from a gauge.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was artificially large. It was 14 gallons either side, so you could actually have 28 gallons on your Cirrus and get a low fuel warning. Hopefully not. Hopefully you're switching tanks, but you know, the potential was there. So when it moved over to Garmin, you know, it just opened up a little element of trust in what we were doing, and it allowed Cirrus and Garmin to use a more advanced warning system, their CAS messages, crew alert system, that were based off of actual fuel level. And, you know, these things were incremental and little things that we did that we don't talk about in that making our system fail evident versus fail soft. We did things that if you lost either sensor, we would red X the display, or we would take it down to a low level and oscillate it. It should have been an indication on the Garmin if we had a problem. But as that level of trust increased over the years, they started, you know, incorporating fuel imbalance alerts. Then it evolved a little more. We're now at a point where it's sort of the backup for Cirrus's automated fuel selection, switching tanks. It's not the primary. They're using fuel flow, which is a more stable value. But if there's a miscompare between the fuel in your tank and the fuel remaining from your totalizer, that's going to trigger another CAS message. The other one that I've seen lately that was incorporated on the Cirrus Jet is fuel on board. So you basically accept what the fuel senders are telling you. And when you look at that evolution over 14 years, it's slow, it's incremental, but really we've made some really big strides in improving fuel quantity, really fuel quantity awareness in general aviation. It's really, you know, it wasn't, you know, a monumental thing. It's a slow evolution based on trust, but, you know, it's significant at this point. I'm really happy for my team that, you know, we're at this point. And it probably leads to our component of world domination, in my opinion.
Well, it to me is very heartening to hear people in this industry consider trust to be an action item.
Yes.
Hasn't always been that way.
No.
Still isn't in a number of areas. And yet when you look at the criticality of systems within aviation and how quickly they can, 1, scare you, or 2, kill you, trust becomes a paramount issue, and it's not often discussed. So excited to see you do it. How did SAIS come about? Tell me about the origin of this company. And by the way, where the hell does that name come from?
It's really a interesting play on my former company, Precise Flight, the speed brakes and...
I had them on my money.
The fun system, the speed brakes, the pulse light, the oxygen systems, all part of my legacy in aviation with that company. And Cirrus approached me after I had left and asked me, would I try to solve fuel level? And two very now highly regarded and upper management people at Cirrus presented me with a vase and a bunch of failed senders with a nice card that says, "Please fix me." This is a great story, and
it sounds like Alan.
It wasn't Alan. It was Gary Palma and Rosanna Hahn. And Rosanna is in charge of quality at Cirrus, and Gary is sort of not retired. I think that was a better term. And interfacing with the customer component. And both of them I had worked with Precise Flight on the other systems. And it was really presenting me with that opportunity. And so when I was thinking of a name, it was like Precise. Well, that was precise. It might as well be SAIS. Which
I like that.
Which was funny when I first presented it to Cirrus. It got a large laugh, because they had known my legacy and they kind of knew me as a relatively dry humor engineer. And it worked.
Very good. Well, you're obviously known for your work with fuel senders and quantity issues. You've mentioned what you're doing with throttles, what you've been doing in a number of other venues. What else are you covering these days? Where else is your imagination taking you?
We're about to receive a patent. And I think this might be one of the most impactful things that we've done, or at least it's been sort of a nascent idea, is that very early on, looking at fuel quantity data in the raw form and in the resolved slosh damp form, very early I could tell what kind of pilot you were or what kind of difficulty you were having in your pattern. And because I could see pitch oscillation, I could see uncoordinated turns, and the resultant amount of fluid motion that accompanied that. So our patent actually deals with getting a better resolved angle of attack solution or a stall warning that's also based off of fluid motion in the tank, since most aircraft, even those coming in the future, have some component or will have some component of liquid fuel. It's sort of an easy grab, and it goes towards what we said about trust and between the fuel totalizer and the fuel measurement. Now I have an air measurement, and then I have a reactive structural component that's agitating a fuel volume, which gives me a secondary input for stall and stall warning and angle of attack. We're still working the flight test component of that. For various reasons, that's not gone as quickly as I want to.
Flight test never does.
I know. It's
hurry up and wait.
But we did get the patent through, and so I'm looking forward. It will be used in a much more advanced system, probably used by people other than ourselves. But I really think it has some compelling information. And then back to our world domination, we own sensor space in pretty much every new aircraft that's built out there. And I think that's a compelling argument towards it's not just simply we're replacing components, we're just making that component a little more talkative to the overall system in the aircraft.
Are you satisfied with the level of technology you're working within now, or do you have designs of where you could take it in the future? I know, weird question.
No, lately, I think most, because I'm a senior person within the aviation community, I've seen too many people lost that have been around me or close to me just because, this is my profession of choice. And somewhere along the way I want to leave, a lasting legacy, at least and memorialize those people that were at some point mentors or people I enjoyed their camaraderie, their sharing of aviation as a passion. And if I can give something back to the community and make the aviation world just a little bit safer, that really grabs my attention. And I'm looking at all sorts of different ways, whether I can use AI to process that information, how I might use that.
I love hearing you talk like this.
And I'm always restless. I seem to always want to look for something different and new.
As we finish up this interview, I'll leave you with this. And this is why I really respond to the attitude you're talking about now. One of my dearest friends in the world was Bob Hoover.
Yeah.
I miss him every day. I really do. Getting those calls, Jim, what kind of trouble you in today, son?
Yeah.
Just loved every minute of it. But he was never about what the industry owed him or what the industry should be saying about him.
Yeah.
He was so much about how the industry could be better.
Yeah.
And what effect the people that he cared about and respected and admired could do to get it there. So when I hear this kind of speech, when I hear these attitudes, these are the things that carry aviation through to tomorrow in a safe way. So good on you.
It's funny you should mention Bob, because Bob did the demonstration of doing a full role in a commander
the
while pouring iced tea.
First with the iced tea sitting there, and then pouring it. Yeah.
Right. If you can keep your liquid as stable as Bob Hoover, you might be a good pilot.
He was extraordinary.
Yeah. I had the opportunity of meeting him several times and very early in my life.
Well, he was a gas and a half to be around. I used to stay at the house anytime I was in Southern Cal, and Colleen would start breakfast in the morning and just start telling stories, and Bob would just sit back and, no, I don't want to hear any more about this. It was just some of the loveliest times ever. And he and Colleen were both some of the two most exceptional people that ever came out of this industry, and it's our duty to make sure that the industry is built in a way that appreciates people like them and so many others like them. So more power to you, my friend.
Yep.
All righty. We will be talking to you at Sun and Fun and a few other places, for sure at Oshkosh. Okay, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We've got some really great interviews on deck. Air Avionics is coming up. We've got, Mike Adamson, the boss of AEA, coming up. And Skywire Studio, an interesting software product that I think a number of people here are going to get a kick out of. And that'll be our roster for the day before we take a break and come back tomorrow and do it all over again. Mind you, this is our 18th time at bat, representing EAA as our media partner, AEA. And we look forward to more of the same in the future. The 20th is right around the bend. At any rate, for the moment, let's take a break. We will see you right back here at the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show in just a moment.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the 69th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Dallas, Texas, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
The future of USB charging power has arrived. Introducing new ultra-fast charging TA360 USB chargers. Unlock the power of USB Power Delivery PD technology. max power. Multiple configurations. In-seat cabin, cockpit, and galley USB power, and a direct upgrade for all True Blue Power USB chargers, compatible with any USB electronic device. Easy to install, backed by the best. True Blue Power, the USB experts.
It's time to upgrade your power plant to the first FAA-certified clean sheet engine design in over 60 years. Delta Hawk's jet fuel-powered liquid-cooled turbocharged engine produces turbine performance at 40% better fuel efficiency of typical reciprocating engines, while also achieving exceptional reliability and significant reduction in cost of ownership. Reserve your engine package today at deltahawk.com.
In aviation, knowing your fuel matters. SAIS designs and manufactures advanced fuel quantity sensors using patented magneto-resistive technology. The result is precise, reliable fuel level data that integrates seamlessly with modern avionics. Trusted by aircraft manufacturers, installers, and pilots around the world, SAIS fuel quantity sensors bring a new level of accuracy and confidence to the cockpit. SAIS, accuracy before empty.
The Inkjet M100J is a high-speed, fully automatic, computer-controlled wire and cable marking system. It's the first system in the industry that integrates an inline plasma pre-treatment system that enhances the quality and durability of the mark. With instant inline curing, the M100J delivers clean, durable surface prints at speeds of up to 300 feet per minute without damaging the insulation. Mil-spec compliant and Boeing certified, it's a powerful solution for reliable, high-performance inkjet wire marking.
Okay, you didn't learn anything from the previous hour and a half? You're back, and so are we. We are at the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show. Got some fun stuff to work with over the next hour. Oh my goodness, we got about an hour left. And you get to listen to me the entire time. God help you all. This particular convention this year, we're in Dallas, Texas at the Hilton Anatole, our 18th year of being AEA's media partner. But you can tell that there is a very common feeling of optimism, innovation, and excitement about a future that not only is proceeding fairly well despite, the FAA going on hiatus for months at a time and so forth, but this is an industry that's going places and driving aviation to new heights, so to speak. I'm pleased to present Mark Verderer. We're here to talk about air avionics, and he's even brought toys to play with. Not free samples, unfortunately. Mark, tell me about your company and the impetus behind your design methodologies for your product line.
Jim, thanks a lot for having me. It's an honor to be here. It's actually the first time our company exhibits at AEA because we have just entered the US market some months ago in Oshkosh 25. So we're an avionics company. We do develop, produce, and maintain avionics systems. We've been around in Europe on the European market for over 20 years now, but as I mentioned, just started in the US.
I'm particularly aware of you from my glider buddies out there.
Yeah, so we actually started with, in the gliding market, we're all glider pilots. All of the founders are glider pilots. And well, we started at a young age at 14 years. And
same here.
Yeah,
55 years ago.
Nice. And yeah, we're still at it, still flying gliders regularly.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, we're producing certified avionics systems, and we're producing mainly very compact, very lightweight, very low power avionics systems, TSO certified radio, transponder, and
perfect timing with Mosaic
systems
around the corner.
Yeah, Mosaic is really exciting for us. We see a shift towards lightweight and capable avionics that are tightly integrated into small panels, and this is where the sweet spot is with our product line as well.
Well, you look at some of the aircraft that are already making waves in the Mosaic community. We've been talking quite a bit about the Spirit SE-1, which is as beautiful a little machine as ever came out, but 69.5 fly away, and every time I talk to Steve, he's delivering another airplane. And I think they've delivered like 30 already. This is the size, weight, and formats that are perfect for machines like that. What's the breadth of the product line? What kind of instrumentation are you offering?
So our products are modular by design. That means you can share functionality. You have a TSO certified multi-control display, which is a control head, and then you can add a transponder or radio module to it and just plug it into the back. You can control both radio and transponder from a single display, so if you're low on panel space or if you want to save weight, you can just use one control head for both modules.
I like that already.
And it is compatible with many other brand avionics systems. For example, it works together with UAvionics and trig transponders as well. So should you choose not to wait for our transponder, because our transponder is not on the market yet, it's going to be soon, but it's not on the market yet, you can still use one of the known brands in the compact class and use a trig or an UAvionics transponder.
Outstanding. Where did all this come from? What was the genesis of your company and your product line?
Yeah, well, we started back in the 90s creating a flight recorder for gliders, actually. And back in 2008, we received the first company certification for developing and producing certified avionics systems. Back then, we produced one of the first pretty lightweight and very small transponders for the European market as a mandate came up for transponder equipage in Europe. And continuing from there, we started to modularize the product line. We started developing display solutions for control and radio modules, and we shifted about 8 years ago to a very compact common design, which is this module design right here. We call that line replaceable units, and all of our line replaceable units look exactly the same, besides they have different connectors on the back and different functionality.
Okay.
And we're currently just completing this product line with a transponder exactly the same size.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing, basically.
So transponder and comm systems.
Yep.
What else are you repping at this point?
We have a second product line besides radio transponder systems, which is our traffic products.
Okay.
They are hugely popular in Europe, and we're also currently just creating a system for the US, doing ADS-B dual band. Looks the same, and it can be connected to many cockpit systems, actually anything that's capable of displaying traffic, from iPad apps with a wireless interface to dedicated traffic displays to flight deck avionics.
What's the weight on this?
The radio is about 1/2 of a pound, so it's the lightest and smallest fully TSO certified radio in the world.
Interesting. How do you see yourself fitting into the updating reality with Mosaic, which, as we understand it, will be official and complete by July 26th, although we'll see the final draft of the rule at our Mosaic Day presentation at Sun and Fun on Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. But from what I understand, everything's mature and ready to go. But where do you see how you fit in, and more important, where do you see your growth pattern from here? What else do you want to tackle?
So the market we're currently serving is the, I'd say, lower end of the general aviation market, like very small aircraft, very light aircraft, gliders, Piper Cubs, small 2 or 4-seat airplanes. And Mosaic is just there. So I would say our products are designed for these types of aircraft. And we see potential in both markets. That's retrofit and forward fit. We're working together with a lot of OEMs from Europe who are all very excited about Mosaic, obviously, because it helps them create a market for their beautiful and capable aircraft. And on the retrofit for small aircraft, even aircraft without an electrical system, our units provide a good fit. And it's in this niche where we want to be at.
Okay.
So we will not compete with more well-known, bigger avionics manufacturers in the market space. We actually don't even intend to. But in this small niche, I think we can make a significant contribution. And,
well, that's how you start. Do you still work in the glider space at all?
Yeah, we still do sell products to gliders, both retrofit and OEM.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, in Europe, gliders are pretty popular still, and they produce quite some gliders in a year, so it's a valid market for us.
Yeah.
But the powered aircraft, the normal aircraft have, of course, overtaken gliders in market share by far now.
Yeah. Well, we've watched the soaring market in the UK take over for a variety of reasons. I wish it was a bit more popular here. It's what I cut my teeth on as a kid, and still feel that the best pilots come out of the glider community anyway, no matter where they go. So hopefully we'll continue to see your presence there as well. What other types of market are you aiming for? Do you see yourself taking this modality and transferring it to other capabilities?
I mean, we have some projects in the company in adjacent markets. We do some modifications for government aircraft, for commercial aircraft, for emergency helicopters, depending on the application. We have some systems flying in drones now, because they also need radios, the larger ones at least. So that's something for us, but mainly we try to focus on what we're doing today and to do it in a good way, to do it the right way, and to improve on these products.
How do you support the U.S. market? What presence do you have here in the States?
We have, sales-wise, we're currently signing up dealers. We have a pretty sizable dealer network already after 8 months of being active in the U.S.
Excellent. Congrats.
And we are, of course, planning and aiming to sign up more. We're pretty excited about the way it's going already. And we see this not as a 1 or 2 year thing, but as a long-term commitment to the U.S. market. So it's going to take a few years before people really know us. And we're basically here for the long term, you know. In terms of service, we have exclusively partnered with a very well-known provider of great service, which is Mid-Continent Instruments and Avionics.
They were just here. They're really good people.
They are, yes, indeed.
Marvelous people.
We're really happy about the partnership. So if something breaks, we need people here on the ground in the US, and they provide very quick turnaround exchange services and take care of our customers in case anything happens.
Well, that's a home run right there. The amount of integrity in that company is outstanding, and we've been working with them for a long time, and trust them, which is all you really need to do in this industry.
Absolutely.
And trust has been an item of discussion throughout the day on the part of a couple of folks here who understand that that's going to be a big thing in the industry going forward.
Yeah.
Where can people get more information about your product line?
You can visit our website online at air-avionics.com.
Okay.
We have comprehensive information there. You can follow us on social media. We regularly post updates on our products.
What's availability?
We have all the products that we currently produce are available from stock, and they're also stocked with dealers here in the US, so you can purchase them right away.
All right.
The new products that we're currently developing, as I mentioned, both the traffic system for the US and the new transponder are going to be released subsequently in the future. So we hope that we have them available really soon. Yeah.
Looking maybe Oshkosh timeframe?
Not this year, Oshkosh. We won't make it. And one needs to be really careful about estimating things.
Yeah.
So my best guess would be the transponder sometime in the next year.
Okay.
And the traffic system sometime this year.
All righty. Well, I can't thank you enough for spending a little time with us. I'd heard some very good reports from some folks around the industry. I like what I see, and more important, an aspect of the industry that doesn't always get the attention it needs. So I'm glad to see more of it being paid, especially since our interest in Mosaic is significant. We're the folks who do that big sport plane resource guide, the monster book. It looks like a Manhattan phone book. Although it's electronic from here on out, it got too big. So we're always looking at how to apply to that market, who's going to be part of it. Our avionics directory is obviously going to have to be updated to reflect what you're doing. But we're watching it carefully, and it's exciting to see.
Thank you very much.
All righty. Mark, thanks for joining us here at Aero-News. Okay, folks, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Mike Adamson, the AEA president, boss, grand poobah, whatever you want to call him, is on deck and will be here shortly. This is the 69th annual AEA Convention and Trade Show. It's been a gas so far. We're hearing from a lot of really cool people about things that are leading this industry well into the future. And we look forward to coming back to you in a few minutes. Live from AEA 69 2026. This is the Aero-News Network, live. See you in a minute. Folks, live from the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show at the Hilton Anatole, just down the road from 35 East and a little bit off of Wycliffe and then through the back door. Here we are, live again. And as we mentioned before, this is our 18th year of having them put up with us on a regular basis. So We're happy to be here. We're happy to represent an industry that carries aviation forward in a multitude of ways, and more important, creates a lot of excitement virtually every day of the industry's existence. It's been pretty cool. Mike Adamson, AEA's boss, Grand Poobah, hail to the chief. Okay, put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
What the hell's going on out there, Mike? What's the state of the industry?
This, right?
Yeah.
This is it. Things are good.
That's what I'm hearing.
Show business is good. It's never been bad. Well, we had 2020, but we came back here.
We shall not talk of this.
We won't talk about that. We came here in 21. I think I mentioned that in the opening. When places weren't really excited about doing show business, and they were good to us, and so we were able to hold it. And from then, it's been incremental increases every year. We're a little above Phoenix from last year, which we're excited about. A little bit of growth there in attendance.
Long trip.
Yeah. Dallas treats us well. The exhibit hall sold out 3 times before we got here, which sounds kind of funny, but we kept adding space and we'd sell it out. We'd add space and we'd sell it out. So we're excited about that. And then the nice thing from our perspective is we're also getting the shops. We love having the exhibitors here and filling up the exhibit hall, but they don't come if you don't get the shops. And a third of our members are here from the shop side.
Wow.
Which is just fantastic.
That's participation.
That's participation. So, still talking to a few of them. Economy-wise, things have softened a bit. There's some hesitation with what's going on out there, but
who's bombing who?
Well, there's that, right? Fuel prices. There's all kinds of things. Tariffs. I mentioned that was a thing last year. It still is to some degree. So there's some global impacts, but this is a resilient industry, and they find a way. And there are things that are that help in some ways. Bonus depreciation, aircraft sales. We got the report last month from Gamma. Those numbers are good. That creates transactions. That creates opportunity for other aircraft to be sold and retrofit opportunities there. So things are good.
You've been talking quite a bit about a number of educational initiatives. And over the years, not so much this year, but over the years we've heard a lot of complaints about I can't find people. I can't find qualified people. Heck, I can't find people to answer the phones. It's just been really tough out there. But finding qualified people, getting them trained, getting them adapted to the industry so that they can come out here, not just make a living, but make a contribution. This is something you guys have been aiming at in a big way. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we've really focused on that. Not to say we never did. I kind of like to think that we did that over the course of my tenure, but we've really amped it up. And we brought somebody on to handle workforce development. Nick Brown has been doing a great job with that. We've got several initiatives. You probably heard us talk about the certification initiative, which we launched last year, and we're sort of stacking on to that.
You even met some of the veterans the other day at the press luncheon.
Yes, yeah. So going well. That piece is, it'll take time, right? The first one, we were involved with NCAT and AET from day one, and really proud of that initiative over the years. This is similar in that the difference really is it's the association that's backing the certification, and it's a modernized standard, and it's been updated by subject matter expertise that are out on this floor right now. So we're excited about that. This year we launched the advanced version of that, which does something that no other certification has ever done in the avionics space, which is add the practical and an oral or a panel review of your experience to sort of vet that you know a little bit more than your written test tells you know. So that's rolling out this year. We're really excited about that. And then another thing is a apprenticeship program. So we've got a partner there that's helping us take our framework. We've got a Department of Labor approved apprentice framework, and they're making it a nationally recognized program, which will provide incentive for our shops to help pay technicians to come work for them. And again, finish with a credential and a career path. Really exciting. So next year I hope to report on higher numbers for those and how those are going, and adding our third level of the certification, the pro side.
What about the initiation period, if you will? I talked to a number of young folks who, I want to be this, I want to be that when I grow up. And they hear pilot, oh yeah, that sounds great, this, that, and the other. But there are so many other ways to contribute to aviation, and once they get going, it becomes fascinating to watch what they do with it. How do we sell avionics technology careers to the undecided, to the folks working their way up, or for that matter, to folks that are looking to make a change? I have a good friend of mine I've been talking to. She was a RN for a long time. She became an A&P in the past year. She's having the time of her life, bought herself old 182 to work on, and so forth. But there are people who, once they discover what's out here, the social network of aviation, the skill sets involved, the fascinating things they get to work with, the great toys, all of a sudden, wow, this sounds like a cool way to make a living.
Yeah.
That's the one disconnect I see we need to fill a little bit better.
Yeah, we're great as an industry. When you think about Sun and Fun, you think about Oshkosh, and just the sheer numbers of young adults and kids that come through those programs. We do a great job of getting them, to the events. I don't know that another industry compares. We're fantastic at that. How are we at closing? How are we at converting them into, technical, sales, marketing, engineering, all the different trades that are available in this industry? I don't know, and that's something we're working on, because I really do think our recruiting effort is top notch. I've experienced it.
When it comes to aviation maintenance, the avionics technology side has a lot to offer. 9 times out of 10, it's an inside gig.
Yeah.
Sitting underneath wrenching on a King Air in the sledge, so forth and so on. There's fascinating things to learn and continue on. It's a phenomenal educational process. And then on top of that, there's the community, which I think is not sold nearly enough. This is a great group of people. It's why we keep coming back.
It is. I think I mentioned that as well. It's just a tight-knit group. It is a family. It feels like that. It's been my family for nearly 30 years. And the high-tech, high-wage potential. And one of the things we've kind of focused on that doesn't get said a lot in this particular space is the ability to own and run your own business. And that's a very real possibility for an avionics technician. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It takes a few years of experience, maybe a decade or more. That opportunity is very real. It's, from barriers to entry, it's regulatory class with Rick. He'll teach you how to get your regulatory side set up from a repair station standpoint. But you can start off doing pedostatic checks and open up a hangar and get your business started. There's a number of folks that's how they started here, and they've grown into much larger organizations. So we are an incubator for that, and the association I think is really focusing on how we can tell that next generation that they've got real opportunity for running their own business. Besides all the cool technical stuff, the incredible technology that's out there, and the neat part of the airplane that I think it's the most fun part of the airplane that we get to handle.
There you go. Well, it's been fun watching this industry over the course of a couple of decades grow and mature and head off into new directions, especially in regards to the fact that so much of the very positive progress that's been made in aviation in that period of time has been, in many cases, avionics driven.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what we're doing now with this stuff. Display technology, traffic,
connectivity.
Oh, dude, there's a war.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It really is. And I used to joke with a friend of mine. I crewed on a CJ3. We'd go in, fire up go-go, and pull out our laptops, get up to altitude, and take turns working on stuff and talking to folks, and maybe catching a little bit of, Firefly and route and that kind of thing. And just, the technology involved in this industry is extraordinary, and yet you go out here now, there's a bunch of stuff that'll blow your mind.
Oh yeah.
Every year it gets better.
It does, and you know, you probably saw it in the new product introductions. Not everything.
How could I miss?
Right. Not everything is you know, a flight deck or connectivity. There are so many companies here that have accessories to those, or you know,
a tool that just makes life easier.
Makes those better. Yeah.
A gauge, a meter, a tool, what have you.
The you know, all the cabin entertainment folks.
Oh yeah.
The sound systems. It's unbelievable. That technology that's, you know, was available in your living room is now in the, you know, cabin of an airplane. The display technologies you mentioned, and then, you know, all the things that help you navigate, communicate, and surveil your airspace. Those are pretty cool too. So there's a lot going on. Yeah, it's exciting.
It really is. If you take the temperature right now of the industry overall, where do you see a need to improve? What is it? What's on the AEA to-do list?
We still focus a lot on training. The workforce side is one thing, the recruitment and retention, but to get better and to be the resource for the end user out there that's trying to decide on where to take their airplane, it's still training. So we focus a lot on that. We've centered our board meeting around it this past weekend, and looking at our long-term plans to continue to provide that, like we do at our headquarters, we do online. There's just demand for that. And so we're trying to answer the members' call for that. From a technology standpoint, you know, the experts out there are way ahead of me on that. You know, and there's changes in rules that drive some of that. There's changes in operational environments that drive some of that. There's things going on in the you know, behind the scenes at some of these manufacturers that we'll get to see some of that in the next few years. But from a technology standpoint, you know, what you can do in these airplanes today to keep yourself safe. I mean, you think about the technologies that have come out, it's unbelievable. And anybody that had any kind of fear about, you know, buying or flying their own airplane, you know, depending on what you get and what's inside that aircraft and what we can upgrade it to, shouldn't be an issue.
It's come such a long way.
It's so
extraordinary.
Far. Yeah.
It really has. Have you looked at the new entry-level Mosaic process? What do you think that portends for the entire industry?
I think there's a lot of growth potential there. You know, from a shop standpoint, where we look at a lot of things, we'll see. But you know, rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way for us to look at that. I think there's opportunity for everybody there, and if it brings more people in at a more affordable price point to own and operate an aircraft or to learn on one, expand some capabilities.
Once you get them through the door,
and expands capabilities, I think you'll see that matriculate up to larger certified aircraft, and so obviously we support that. So we're looking forward to seeing what that produces here. We should be coming up on some of those things here in the next few months.
Not to belabor a bad issue elsewhere, but how's the health of the association itself? There's been some news in that regard lately. We want to know that things are really hunky-dory at AEA.
Appreciate you asking. Had a board meeting on Sunday.
They still like you?
It's doing okay there, as far as I know. I appreciate that, because I think not everybody follows the news on that, and not everybody knows sort of the behind the scenes with the relationship between the board, a staff, or the leader of the organization. And I can tell you it's as strong as it's ever been. We're cognizant of the decisions we make together and what that impact has on our members. But if you just simply focus on members first and worry later about what that might do right away to your finances, or what that might do to something you do operationally, you'll be okay. The member first focus mindset of this board and this staff, I think will keep us healthy for a long time. Financially, we're in good position. We've got a lot of things on the table that we're pretty excited about. Maybe some announcements in the next year or two with regards to that.
Well, just between you and me, what are you talking about?
Just between us. How we're expanding some things. There's potential there for us. and the board is in sync with the staff, and they're doing their part to really understand what the members' input is, and I think they do it as well as anybody. Strong committee structure, very engaged committee on all levels, workforce, training, government affairs, all the things, financial, very strong on that front. That's how we develop our talent for to eventually serve on the board. They're term limited, so you don't
what a concept.
You don't get to do it forever, and that helps you grow, and that changes the perspective sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's good for us, and it's worked well in the last, at least in my tenure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to hear. How are things with the FAA these days? How are they behaving?
Well, we have a great relationship with them. I think I've always said that. I don't know that it was mentioned. I was trying to get the news in my opening, but we petitioned them for the recognition of our certification for repairman equivalency, which we had done that with the AET back in 2018, and they graciously accepted that. Well, with our new certification, we wanted that accepted, and I got that letter on Monday morning after the opening, which was fine.
Oops.
We knew it was coming, so we kind of hinted at it, but we got that. So, we've always had a really good relationship with the FAA. Member to member, maybe that's different. Region to region, maybe that's different. From headquarters, the support we get, it's been good. Certainly there are things, if you think about a government employee the last 6 months, year, they've had some hiccups, right? And
As long as you're not working for TSA.
And those are the things that we may not always fully understand. So it's our job to communicate that with our members, make their jobs easier to do to help us, and be advocates and not adversaries. And I think that's worked well. It doesn't mean everything happens with the speed that you wanted to or the decisions that you wanted to, but we're in a good spot. We've got a great relationship with the folks we work with in the different divisions, so we're in good shape.
One of the things that's interesting about Mosaic is that it ultimately comes down to an industry making decisions for itself through equivalent certification criteria. Is that a model that someday could be better and more effectively utilized throughout the rest of aviation? Is this industry mature enough to take this to a much higher level?
Oh yeah, I think we do that already with our ASTM work, obviously. Expanding that. They don't have the resources, and we have the subject matter expertise. I mean, there's your formula, right? So
you always roll out Rick.
He understands that process, and he does it on multiple ASTM groups, and the associations work well together on that front. They're great partners with regards to that. Not everything we agree on because we represent different constituents, but for the most part, there's a consensus when we do those types of things. So I think there's real opportunity for that, and I think they're open to it. They just don't have the resources to do it themselves, and they're looking for us for the expertise.
Okay. There's a little bit of a discussion item, and I think was something that was talked about in years past. There's such an amazing plethora of technology here that about the only way the rest of the industry really gets to see it is through what we're doing. Is there any consideration in the future to granting some limited public access to the rest of aviation to see what you do here at a convention?
That's been a long time topic of our board.
Yeah. Kind of pulled the tail on that one, did I?
Yeah, we opened up that tent. It happens organically with our exhibitors and their guests. So they'll sort of vet a particular customer and invite them in, and we're good with that. The dealer OEM relationship is a very special bond, and they love the fact that we have that here, and they don't have to discuss the deals that they make business to business in front of the end customer. That being said, there are some end customers that may have fleets of aircraft or a large fleet of aircraft that just want to come in because we're in their neighboring city and want to see somebody. We certainly allow that, and the exhibitors, the manufacturers that are bringing those folks in, might be introducing them to a shop that could be helping them with those retrofits. So it happens. just a general public access, we haven't really gone down that path.
Okay, well, maybe something we can think about a little bit more of an extension of what we're doing to be able to do individual feature sets on companies that think they've got something to say to the rest of the world from the convention floor.
Well, I think that's important, right? I think you can, from a voice standpoint, you should be able to talk to a manufacturer that's talking not only to their shops that might not be able to be at the show, but absolutely talking to the end users, because that's where you're driving sales. So I would hope that you're getting a warm welcome to that, because there's a real opportunity with the concentration of avionics that are here.
We're getting a lot of feedback from folks who see what we do, online and all. And the fun part is afterwards, questions I wish they asked while we were here so that we could port them over, and we wind up sending them over to whoever. I remember driving Tom Harper nuts one week, but do what we got to do.
Yeah.
Mike, appreciate your time. Appreciate the professionalism with which you've led AEA. We loved Paula to death during her period here and all. Knew you well, knew it was going to be a good process. We didn't know it was going to be this good.
Appreciate that.
Good deal. And we thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Jim.
Later on, we need to chat, especially on the educational side. We've got something we're working on.
Sounds good.
Plug your ear in a little bit. Alrighty, folks, we're getting down to the end of the wire here, so to speak, and with a interview coming up with Skywire Studio, and we'll be back in just a few moments. This is the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show, live from the Hilton Anatole in Dallas, Texas. This is Aero-News. This is what we do 18 times around, and God help us, we'll be doing this for another 18. And we will be back in just a few moments and finish up the show before we get ready to roll it all out again tomorrow. We'll be right back. avionics. All righty, folks. We're just directing our guest here to which cameras are real life and which one using special effects to try to make me look good. Okay, we know that's impossible, but we try anyway. All right, we are live from the 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show at the Hilton Anatole in Dallas, Texas. And we are pleased to be able to introduce introducing a company or product here called Skywire Studio. And I'm going to let him explain it because the first time I heard about this, I kind of went, what? So explain Skywire Studio.
So Skywire Studio is it's a cloud-based avionics wiring diagram solution. So it's built specifically for avionics. It's meant to be intuitive for really anyone in an avionics shop, from the technicians or support staff, to be able to learn how to use it, and less complex than other CAD applications out there. So it makes organizing your drawings very fast and efficient, and it's something that customers appreciate when you have a complete diagram to hand over when you release the aircraft. So like I said, it's cloud-based. You can access it anywhere, which makes it pretty special compared to other options out there. Access it wherever you are, whether at a shop or at home or on a tablet, on the aircraft. Yeah, so it makes it pretty unique.
Outstanding. To many who've ever had to look at an aircraft under maintenance or construction, you look at the wiring methodology and it's spaghetti everywhere. It's just a total freaking mess. It's just insane. I assume that this is the tool that you developed to make sense of all that. The question is, how does that work in the real world? Can this be utilized in the field by the manufacturers, by the shops, by the installers to make their lives that much easier?
Yeah, exactly. So the goal is, moving forward for any shops, that you're utilizing Skywire Studio to document your installations. So as part of your delivery to the customer, you have a wiring package you deliver. It's maybe one sheet or multiple sheets that explain that what is normally spaghetti. When an aircraft comes into the shop, you don't have any documentation on it, and so you need to probe out where everything goes manually. But now for new installations, you can document a lot of that, or all of that, in a nice organized fashion, easy to read. And so it really adds value, because if you go to a different shop, you have this wiring diagram in hand, you're automatically saving hours and hours in labor of figuring out that spaghetti.
I've been a part of a couple of aircraft major overhauls or major installations. I ripped everything out of a Cirrus many years ago to take out an old Avidite installation and put the R9 installation in, and the wiring aspect of that, the harnessing, this, that, and the other. Man, that was black magic to me. It was amazing that these guys could get through all this. How do you start a process like this? So, I mean, do you have templates that you're working with, or are you starting from scratch and then trying to fill in the blanks based on what you know from A to B to C?
So, we'll use Garmin equipment as an example. It's very obviously popular manufacturer out there in retrofits for GA aircraft, especially. So we have a whole library of LRUs available through Skywire Studio, where you can select a GTN 650, select all your pins and drop that in there and start to filter down the pins that you're actually interfacing with. Okay. So the process really involves, it does require some knowledge of the installation on how to do it, and following the Garmin tech data, obviously. But with the Garmin tech data on one side and Skywire Studio on the other, on your screen, you can begin populating those interfaces. And once you have done that once or twice, you've built up a library with what we call template blocks, and you can reuse that for other installations. So it really makes it faster the more you do it.
Okay. Yeah, I just can't imagine I think following something once you've got a basic roadmap is one thing, but starting a project like this just blows my mind with all the intricacies of what you're going to have to configure, denote, select, and then try to put it all in its proper place. Are you getting any support from the manufacturers out there in regards to utilizing your product, or at least making it easier for you to utilize their information?
So I have talked to various manufacturers, and I'm trying to build that network to make it easier not only for us but for our users, right? To create that two-way connection, to automate some of this and adjust the pinouts and maybe even some of the logic for eventually being able to automatically populate diagrams. So a partnership like that with Dynon, Garmin, or any of the major manufacturers would be ideal. So have had some conversations, but not quite there yet.
Okay. Who's your initial target market? Who is going to be able to take the most immediate advantage of this product?
Really, any size shop, even larger shops.
Okay.
There's really not one target. We have users from home builders building an RV to larger scale shops that have 2 to 3 people making diagrams. Where it really fits in is for maybe those mid-level or smaller shops where you've traditionally had one person who's the guru on wiring diagrams. He knows how to use the CAD software that you've been using, and it's a single point of failure, and it's a bottleneck for any avionics shop, and that's what I've heard with customers, every day, and so that's probably the best fit, I would say, is when you've got the 1 or 2 people that can do it. This is so easy. Really, you can have techs learning how to do it and break that bottleneck.
Well, I assume a big part of this process and your business model is for you to consult on these. I would assume would you be involved in projects like this, getting people started?
I absolutely do help out, but with how easy it is, I found a lot of people are able to figure it out either on their own or with maybe a couple of emails back and forth, our documentation. So, but I'm of course always happy to consult. I've worked with a lot of shops for best ways to lay out the drawings and get started. I've also bootstrapped some drawings for shops where if I didn't really have enough time to get started with it, but I want to use it. Can you help me with my first diagram? So I'll do that.
Is there an economy of scale that makes sense to this? In other words, probably not worth it for a Cessna 172, but the minute you start looking at a 340 or a Challenger or something like that, it's where all this really makes sense?
Yeah, especially the larger aircraft, you get into more bulkhead connectors and different fuselage stations. It gets really confusing pretty quick, but it also does make sense for even the 172 where the average owner-operator is very cost-conscious, right? And if you can provide a diagram to them, and that's going to save them hours if they break down in another state, it makes it a lot of sense for them as well, for the smaller aircraft.
Okay. Say I am Joe Q, mid-level shop owner in Okefenokee Swamp. Love that area. Out in Florida. And I'm tired of doing things the old way. I give you a call. What is it that you're going to try to impress on me, and what is it that you can offer me right off the start, and how do I get involved with a product like this?
So a couple of things. One, we have a free version. It's free for everyone to use. You can sign in today without a credit card. And so if you have any, anything holding you back, you're welcome to go in there and try it out for yourself without putting a credit card down. Of course, you want our subscription to unlock a lot of the time-saving features, which we offer a trial on. So that in itself is usually pretty convincing for any new customers coming in. But when I start demonstrating things like our shield symbology on twisted pair wires, when you see a lot of the automations we've built into our application, jaws usually hit the floor. So say, wow, that's with one operation in Skywire Studio is about 10 to 20 operations in a traditional CAD application, because you're moving everything manually.
Quite an economy of scale.
Yes, so it's hard to demonstrate or talk about, but we have a lot of videos out there that kind of demonstrate some of those automations that are big sellers.
I'm going to go take a look at this thing here in the not too distant future. Alrighty, where can people get more information about Skywire Studio?
Skywirestudio.com is our main homepage, and there, if you visit our homepage, we've got documentation available offline. You don't have to register. You can read through some of that. Plenty of YouTube videos, so you can access our YouTube channel from our homepage, and you can always reach out to us or just sign up and start trying it out. So,
Kobe, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you joining us here on Aero-News. Folks, we are going to wind up the day actually on time, which is an amazing concept. We will be back on the job tomorrow at 1100 Central Time and up through about 2 o'clock before we all break it down, get on the big silver birds and head home. Mostly to prepare for Sun and Fun, God help us all. We've got a lot on our plates over the next few weeks. In the meantime, before we go, my thanks to the amazing team here at Aero-News. The best rule for business I've ever heard is hire really great people, allow them to do their best, and sit back and take credit for everything. I can't quite do that, but we have an amazing team here. The organization of it is led by my wife, Misako, who, she's the boss, don't let anybody kid you. I think her title in all of her documentation is the real boss. The man behind the curtain, always, Nathan Cremasino, I think possibly aviation's best videographer. On the cameras, Cam Walton, who took over airborne hosting duties while our dear friend Holland is enjoying quality time with her brand new little baby boy, just born a couple of weeks ago. She will be back sometime May, June, July, whatever she decides. In the meantime, Cam is doing a phenomenal job, and the minute she comes back, he will be going on to even cooler things down the line. And of course, somewhere around here, Kate Wilson is running around shaking people down for marketing money and hopefully allowing us to eat lunch tomorrow. We'll see. Again, live, 69th Annual AEA Convention and Trade Show. This has been Aero-News. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 1100 Central, and in just a couple of weeks on Monday at 1600 Eastern Time, the day before opening day at Sun and Fun, with the Innovation Preview, where we promise you we've got some absolutely stunning news to impart to the rest of the industry. You think you saw cool things this week? You ain't seen nothing yet. So on behalf of Aero-News, we wish you a good afternoon. We will see you tomorrow at 1100. This is the Aero-News Network. Thank you.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the 69th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Dallas, Texas, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
Mike, that fuel gauge is really being weird.
It's acting up again. We've got plenty of fuel, but those gauges really are not all that accurate.
Great.
For years, fuel gauges confirmed you were empty, but couldn't warn you before. SAIS delivers certified full-range accuracy because knowing before empty makes all the difference.
Accurate fuel gauges.
That is so nice.
SAIS, accuracy before empty.
Flying is my entire life. It's all that I've ever known. I've relied on Hartzell propellers since about 1995. Hartzell means much more than a propeller. It's a relationship. When you hear the phrase built on honor, they care about us as pilots, they care about our community, and they care about the product they build. It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
Looking for a new generation of proven and efficient aviation power plants that boast modern engineering, electronic ignition, and both direct and gear drive systems? With 100 horsepower to 240 horsepower, the Skyline and Redline engines offer uncommon value in an overpriced industry. Whether you are looking for fixed wing or rotor, MW Fly Americas has been established to service the American market with dedication and expertise. MWFlyAmericas.com.
Backed by over 30 years of Aero-News reporting, PropWash is the daily email newsletter that delivers top aviation headlines to your inbox. Expert reporting, clean facts, and real insight. Start your day with aviation news you can trust. Subscribe to PropWash today at aero-news.net.
It's time to upgrade your power plant to the first FAA-certified clean sheet engine design in over 60 years. Delta Hawk's jet fuel-powered liquid-cooled turbocharged engine produces turbine performance at 40% better fuel efficiency of typical reciprocating engines, while also achieving exceptional reliability and significant reduction in cost of ownership. Reserve your engine package today at deltahawk.com.
Are you ready to ace your FAA drone pilot knowledge test, get your remote pilot certificate, and start earning money? Well, flying a drone is a great tool that can open up new business opportunities for anyone. Realtor, insurance adjuster, videographer, or commercial weekend drone warrior, you need to fly legally. Whether you're pursuing your initial Part 107 remote pilot certificate or you need a renewal, King Schools has a course just for you. So start learning today at kingschools.com.
Direct Fly USA proudly introduces the new Alto NG, a single-engine, two-seat light sport aircraft for the North American market. This simple, all-metal aircraft design provides low maintenance cost, easy, comfortable access, and responsive flight controls. Equipped with a Rotax 912 engine and a ballistic parachute, the Alto NG is reliable and safe. Learn more about the Alto NG at directflyusa.com.